Hi, I'm glad to see you. It's Time with Tina. And it's been a minute, I know, but recently got a new phone and I'm so excited about it because I've been noticing my videos hasn't been high quality, I should say. That's putting it mildly. But that is to be expected because I'm a new YouTuber, but I watched one of my videos and I was like, hey, it's not how I want it to look, so. And I also think I wonder if anyone hears me. You know, when I'm recording, it's different from when it's uploading on YouTube, so I think I need to speak a little louder, and that might help as well, but I'm glad to be here with you. I'm excited to talk about patience. And patience is something that we have so little of, don't we? We have so little patience, and I think that's mostly society's fault because let's face it, you know, when we see all these advertisements, watch television and see all these commercials, when we look at the sometimes when I watch food commercials like McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken and all those places, it makes me think, oh God, I really want some McDonald's. I really need to get some Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know, or it could be clothes, it could be the latest trend or something, or it doesn't even have to be commercials. It could be magazine advertisement, or if we could be even if we just walk past the store and we see something we want. Oh my God, that looks so good. I want to get that. But it's because we lack patience. You may think that it's about something else, but it could simply be that we do not have patience. And that's one of the ways we don't have patience. There's so many other ways, and I hope that I could put some light on patience and explain why God tells his people that we need to be patient. So I hope my little tidbit helps you here. So let's begin. Of course, I need my glasses. Hi. I always see the camera much better with my glasses, but I know that we all know what patience means, but let's look at what the definition means of patience. And let's start to read. It says, patience, able to accept or tolerate delays, problems, or suffering without becoming annoyed or anxiety. You know, and when you read the definition of patience, wow, you're like, wow, you know, you thought you knew what patience meant, but this really explains it. It says, tolerate delays, problems or suffering without being annoyed, or anxiety. You know, you're sitting there waiting, worrying, you know, and yeah, we lack patience as a society, as a whole, and so we can relate to this a lot. And you know, I remember me going through this struggle with patience. You know, of course, I went through many struggles with patience, but one particular time, it was when I first moved into my tiny new studio apartment. It was very small, everything compact into one room. Actually, the size of my bedroom would have been the size of my apartment when I was a young person, you know, on my own, living on my own for the first time. And I remember that, you know, because you have to pay rent, you have to pay a deposit, I had already spent all my money that I couldn't afford to get a bed. So I had to put a bed on delay, and that meant I had to sleep on the floor. And, you know, and I remember every time I got paid, I put some money on getting this bed, and it took longer than I thought. Actually, it took 3 months for me to get that proper day bed. And I slept on the floor that whole time. And I remember feeling, oh, I can't wait to get my bed. This is a problem for me. And I was struggling with patience, struggling. And I remember when I finally got that day bed, I was like, oh my God, I was so relieved. But that's one of the benefits of being patient and waiting for something. When you finally get it, it is like, wow, this is great. I think being patient and waiting for the thing you want and finally getting is actually more fulfilling than actually getting what you want right away. And God tells his people we need to be patient. I mean, I don't know anybody that's gotten anything right away. Even if you're a struggling actor or performer or musician or celebrity, they did not, and I watch a lot of documentaries. Documentaries is one of my favorite things to do. I love watching documentary because you learn a lot. You think you know something and then you don't. Or to hear about someone's life. You think you know them but you don't. But I remember some celebrities really struggle. You would think that you've known certain celebrities your whole life. I remember reading Tyler Perry's story and how he was homeless. He was struggling. He was trying to get his these Medea shows, and he does these Broadway shows, or sometimes they're off Broadway or whatever. And now he's a multimillionaire now with all of his movies. But he was one time struggling just to get his Broadway show off the air. And he practically lived in his car. It didn't happen easy for him. It took years for him to get on his feet, going through homelessness, going through shame, regret, failure. And when he finally opened his first show, and someone gave him money to open his show, and he saw the people coming in, he cried. Because it was years and months and weeks and years of struggling just to get somebody to sponsor his Broadway show. And when it finally happened, he cried. And now you look at Tyler Perry, and he's making movies, he owns a town, he's a multi-millionaire person. But he first had to learn patience. He first had to go through the struggle, before he got where he wanted to be. And I don't even think he himself thought that he would ever be this successful. But he is where he is. And I think that's the way a lot of us go through our lives. We just want things to happen so quickly, rush them. And that's what the world teaches us. There's quotes saying, I have some of these quotes now written right here. There's the quote that says, don't wait till time passes you by. That's telling us to be impatient, really. Do it now. Or how about that Nike commercial? Remember they had that Nike commercial where it says, just do it. I actually love that commercial. Just do it. And that is telling you, don't be patient. Do it now. Why are you waiting? And I understand that telling someone to live their lives now is actually not a bad thing. I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel for years, and I had to struggle with the insecurity I had about doing them. And I actually told myself, why don't you just do it? Just do it. And I did it. Some things, you need to do right away if that's what you want. And there are other things that you need to be patient with. If things don't happen fast enough, we tend to give up very easily when they don't happen fast enough. And that is another point of patience is, can you wait? Can you be self-control? Can you wait on God to answer you? Very seldom do careers turn into success without patience. Oprah Winfrey couldn't be Oprah Winfrey without patience. Brad Pitt wouldn't be Brad Pitt without patience. Everything takes patience and time. But for a Christian, God tells us to wait mostly all the time. He never gives us what we want right away. We have to be patient. What God expects from his people is patience to be still. And let's read something in the Bible about it, because I don't want to tell you nothing that's not written. I don't want nobody chopping my head off. So let's read what the Bible says about patience, and it's in Psalm 37, Psalm 37, verse 7. Let's read. Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. Isn't that the truth? When you're waiting patiently sometimes and you see other people just seeming like they're just getting what they want all the time, doing things they want to do, getting what they want, while you're sitting here being patient, waiting for something to happen. And you see it all the time. Don't you just hate that? I know I do, and I'm sure you do too, but it's written in the Bible. It's written in the Bible. It says, don't fret when people succeed in their ways. That is written. Wow. When they carry out their wicked schemes. Now see, that's another point I want to make. Because like I said, we're living in a country, or I should say maybe even all around the world, we're in a country where there is a lot of opportunity. Every year, every decade, there's more opportunities. The millennials that are now, those are the youngins now, the people in their 20s and 30s. The millennials, they have it way more easier than my generation. I think I'm from Generation X. I believe I am in that generation. They have it easier than my generation. Or in my mother's generation, I have it easier than her generation. And that's the way life is. Each generation, there's more things accessible to us. We're able to get things more, understand more. The kids now are way more smarter than we are. I think they're way more. In certain ways they are, at least as far as technology goes. But I didn't have the internet when I was going to school. I could have gone to school online. I didn't have such a thing like that. I could have gotten educated, gone to college online. I didn't have that when I was young. But now everything is presented to you very easily now. But, what it says, when we carry out our wicked schemes, one of the things that God tells you to be patient for or wait is because it may not be ready for you yet. We think we can handle something. We think we can handle something. That's why we need to have it now, because I could handle this. And I'm not talking about the simple shopping spree. You want those pairs of shoes there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about goals in life, careers in life, dreams in life. We want our dreams to happen fast. But sometimes we may not be ready for those dreams. Sometimes we gotta go through some stepping stones to get to that dreams. And that's why God asks you to be patient. Or maybe he hasn't set it up for you now. There's a lot of reason why God doesn't grant us the things we want right away. And one of those reasons is to teach us to be patient, self-control. It's a whole learning. It's a whole lesson from God. God is teaching us many things when he asks us to be patient. But one of those things is that those things may not be the best things for us. you know, because people run after these things. They run after you know, I've seen YouTube channels where they got a closet full of shoes, 100 shoes in that closet, you know, and it's that you think to yourself, wow, look at all those beautiful shoes in that closet, and you think to yourself, can she wear all those shoes? Is she gonna wear all those shoes? You know, I don't know. Is there occasion for every shoes to wear? I mean, and then you ask, does she really need those shoes? You know, all those shoes. Some of those shoes look like they were too fancy to wear. They're just easier to look at them than wear them. But, you know, that's what we're living in. That's the society we're living in. And I don't want you to be deceived by the advertisement, you know, because the advertisement is telling us to get this. This is a thing that's going to help, you know, especially with those self-help things, you know. This is going to help clean your carpet really well, or this is going to advance your career. Well, do this. I remember when I was writing my book, Star Power, you know, I was looking at a lot of YouTube videos about it. I was trying to get myself prepared for being a writer. And I was looking at a lot of YouTube channels about writers and how to be a successful author. And I realized that didn't work for me. Those ideas did not work for me, you know. But I remember when I was looking at that, and what works for Johnny and Susie may not work for you. I mean, those ideas are meant to sell. They're trying to sell you a product, even if it's just the product of being a better author. That is their duty, to sell that to you. But that may not always work for everyone, you know. And so I was going through a lot, and that's why I came to the decision that, you know, I gotta work at my own pace. You know, I want to be a best-selling author, but right now I'm just happy writing books, you know. But you can't be deceived by some of the lies that are told on when people are advertising things. Get this thing, it might work. Get this hairdo, it might work for you. You know, sometimes it doesn't work for us. But that's our way of just not having patience, or just really studying something out first before deciding to buy them. And a lot of times we make a big mistake in buying something we don't need, we don't use, or we don't want, you know. And that comes from just the lack of patience and understanding. You know, and Ecclesiastes is one of my favorite books because it's written by Solomon, who was the wealthiest, wisest man in the world. And he wrote something in Solomon, and I think it has to do with patience. So let's turn to Ecclesiastes 7. I'm sorry. Even with my glasses, Ecclesiastes 7, verse 8. And it says, verse 8 to 9, the end of the matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Do not be quickly provoked in your spirit, for anger resides in the lap of fools. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. It says the end is better than its beginning. You know, that's kind of like how I was talking about my bed, waiting 3 months to get it, and when I finally got it, I worshiped that bed. I was so relieved. You'll never understand how much it is great it is sleeping on a bed, you know, because of my experience of spending 3 months sleeping on the floor. Now I know the importance and the blessings of having a bed because I waited 3 months. And that gratification was me getting that bed and that day bed and sleeping on it. And yes, I agree with that. That is so true. That in the beginning, seemed like a good idea sleeping on the floor and waiting for that bed. But after 3 months and finally getting that bed and sleep, you are just more grateful than ever. Just to finally get to some place you want to go. And that's how it feels with dreams. When dreams are fulfilled, they're just so wonderful and exciting. Now if you got that dream right away, quickly, I don't know. For some reason, it's not as satisfying, is it? It's like when a person climbs to the top, reach the top so quickly, and have all of that success and getting what they want and everything. I don't know. It just does not seem that gratifying, does it? And there's only one way to go, and that's down. And that's exactly what happens especially when people in careers, their careers happen quickly. Artists, when they become superstars quickly, sometimes they can't handle the pressure of being so famous, and I was reading something like that about people being successful, got very successful very quickly, and they couldn't handle the pressures of fame. Or even I watch a lot of figure skating. Figure skating is one of my favorite things to do. So, figure skaters who rise successfully and then crash and burn. And I think there's a lesson to be learned about climbing your way to the top and reaching there. There's a lesson to be learned about being patient and waiting and going through what you need to go through and then getting where you want to go. There's a lesson in that. Because along the way of being patient, you're having to deal with everything, especially your emotions, but you have to deal with other things, sometimes other things become more important, or, you're just learning to be self-control, patiently waiting, not giving up, because that's what a lot of us do. Not giving up. It teaches you to be strong-minded. It teaches you to have a great will. It teaches you self-control. It teaches you many things. And then when you finally get that to where you want to go, have that dream fulfilled, or, whatever it is for you, it is gratifying. So, the word patience in the Bible is used 70 times. 70 times. I didn't even know patience was used that many times. But it's part of a Christian's DNA to be patient. That's something God wants us to learn because he never gives us what we want right away anyway. Sometimes we have to be patient. Even this new phone that I've got, I had to wait a long time to get this phone, and it was gifted to me. How about that? It was gifted to me, and that was such a blessing, But I needed a new phone, on the matters of just doing my videos. But it's a blessing that God said that, okay, Tina, it's time you stop using somebody else's phone here because they're getting impatient with you using their phone to do these videos, and you get your own phone. And God bless me with my own phone. So I hope I could do better videos for you now that I have this new phone. But yeah. Yes, there is a gratification in waiting patiently and finally getting what you want. And sometimes, like me, God will bless it to you. He'll just hand it to you. you know. But I hope you learned something about patience. It's something we all need. Please don't buy the hype of of what society tells us. You gotta have it now. Don't buy the commercial. You gotta have it now. You know, don't look at the advertisement. Just do it. Because there are certain things you can't just do. Certain things you gotta be patient for. And as a Christian, this is one of the things that God commands us to do, is to be patient. Whatever that is for you, it could be a simple thing or it could be a big thing. Whatever that is for you, learn to be patient and wait on the Lord, and He will grant it to you. I hope that helps you and everything, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching me, and you have a very good night. Bye-bye.